So another day on circles, and doesn't this look fun? You actually have to look up out of your phones to see how much fun it's going to be.
Oh, boring.
Oh, boring. Back to my phone. Because I learned so much from it. All right, so we are on day 3 of circles. So just like day 1 and 2 of parabolas, where we just kind of messed with it and had the equation already in the form that we wanted it already, and it wasn't too bad, today we are going to kind of start with this general form, and we're going to write it in standard form. It's called conic form. So our end goal today is going to be able to take this mess and take it and write it in this standard form. And the standard form that we've been using the last few days is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So we want to be able to take this and write it in this equation, but then we also want to be able to find the center, which you guys have been doing quite a bit of, our h and k values, and we want to find our radius, or our r value as well today. Given that they're in this general conic form, and we're going to rewrite them into standard form. So go ahead and write that problem down quick. While you're writing it down, kind of explain a little bit what we're going to do. Just like we did with parabolas when we completed the squares with parabolas. That's what we're going to do with this mess, is we're going to complete the squares. So we've got an x squared and a y squared in here, which differs from when we had parabolas where we only had one of them. So not only are we going to have to complete one square, we're actually going to have to complete 2 squares, so that we have an x minus h squared plus a y minus k squared on the left-hand side, and then just all of our numbers on the right-hand side. The easiest way I've found to do this is to kind of start out by just writing stuff together. So putting your x's with your x's, putting your y's with your y's. But I add kind of a little piece into it because I know we're going to complete the square eventually. So the way I like to do these questions is I like to say, okay, let's put the x's together. So I've got an x squared, plus I've got another 18x. So I'm going to go x squared plus 18x. Now I know eventually I have to complete the square, so I'm going to put plus something. And we're not going to fill that something in quite yet. Could you? Yeah, probably. But just for now, let's just kind of leave it as a plus a blank. Now I'm going to put my y squareds. So we've got plus y squared. I've got a minus 8y. But again, I know I want to complete that square. So I'm going to add another blank on here. Now, when I have it in standard form, I notice that I have my radius on the right-hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 33 from both sides of the equation. And instead of setting this equal to 0, I'm going to set this equal to negative 33. And all I've done is taken that 33 and subtracted it from both sides. But now, if you look at this, I've added 2 blanks, one with the x and one with the y. So I'm going to make sure that on this right-hand side, of course, I don't have room, but I'll erase this. I'm going to add these plus spots to this as well. That just reminds me to keep my equation balanced. Because if I add something to this side, I have to add it to the other side of the equal sign. If I add something here, I have to add something here. Okay, so now let's figure out what we fill in those blanks with. So we're going to complete the square for the x. So we're just going to be looking at this part right here. And we're going to go ahead and complete that square. So if you remember from last week, we looked at our b value, which in this case is 18. We took half of that, which is 9. And then we squared that, which is 81. So that means I'm going to add 81 onto this side of the equation so that I can complete the square for the x. But since I've added 81 on the left-hand side in that blank, I need to make sure that I add that 81 onto the right-hand side as well. Now next I look at my y values, or my y squared. And I go ahead and I complete this square. Half of b, my b value now is 8. So half of b is 4. 4 squared is 16. So I'm adding 16. And it's always added. This is always added when you're completing the square. Okay. So now we've got our square completed. That means we can factor. So now we factor the red, the x value. When we factored the red, we said that it was always going to be x, the sign of our b term, and then half of it. Half of our b term is 9 squared. So there's the first part of it. Plus, because our formula is always plus. Now we're going to factor the y, so it's y. Now we've got a minus. Half of 8 is 4 squared. And then that's going to equal, now we just add that together. Negative 31 plus 81 plus 16. And I think you get, shoot, what did I do?
I don't know, it's like 50.
Negative 6, it's 64. 64.
That's it.
Okay, so now we've got it in standard form. So that's really all the directions tell you to do today. However, we're going to add to the directions and say, okay, now we want to find the center. Just like we've been doing the last 2 days. It's the opposite of the values that you see. So it's negative 9, 4. And then I also want you to find the radius as well. So r squared is 64, so r is 8. So this is what we're doing today.
And that'll be like the whole thing, right?
That's the whole answer right there. Yeah. Okay. So this is called completing the square and putting in standard form so you can find the center and the radius of it. Let's look at another one. Any questions with that one? Okay, let's look at number 3 here now. So we've got x squared plus y squared plus 22x minus 22y plus 178 equals 0. Again, we'll do this one together. So step 1, we put our x's together. So we've got x squared and then 22x. Whoa, that was cool. X squared plus 22x plus something. And if you want to put that plus something in there right now as you're going along, you certainly can do that. Half of 22 is 11 squared.
Would it be like 121?
It would be. So 121. Now we're going to do our y's. So plus y squared minus 22y plus, well, we just did this one, so it's 121 again, equals, we got to subtract the 178, so that's minus 178.
36.
What do I have to do to this side also?
Oh, you have to add the 121?
I have to add the 121s. Now that's why you have to be a little bit careful if you're kind of do it as you go along. With that first one, remember I put the blanks in there and then I filled them in later. Either way doesn't matter, but you've got to make sure that you add those blanks there. Make sure that you add them to both sides. Okay. So now we factor. X plus half of 22 is 11. So it's x plus 11 squared plus y minus half of 22, 11 squared equals
36. That's my guess.
I don't think so. I think it's 64 again. Yes?
Wait, how? How would it be 64?
Because that's what they add up to.
Would it be negative? What?
Huh? Trust your calculator, man. Center,
That's crazy.
negative 11, 11. Radius is? Don't everybody say it at once? Okay, everybody say it at once. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Sorry. 8.
Thank you. That wasn't too delayed of a reaction. Better than none. Questions with that one? So we're going to do 2 more.
Oh, because it's negative 178 plus 120.
Add those three numbers together.
Is this all we're doing? Or is there like gonna be more added on?
There's always more. I don't know why that says that.
So are you kidding? So I have
Huh?
to write smaller?
What's going on? What?
Why?
Nothing. I was moving my screen and yours wasn't moving. It was bugging me. Go ahead, do number 5. There's this teacher thing that says do, and then there's another step, and then it's make them do. I'm on the make them do stage. Do together, make them do. It's like this teacher thing. I'm following a guided teacher thing.
It is a teacher thing.
Somebody told me this is the way to do things. Do
It's
it.
a good way. I support it.
And I'm going to make you do 2 of them because I'm an overachiever.
No. I do.
It's Wednesday. That's a good thing.
But that means we still have school tomorrow, so. Oh, I'm glad we're.
Yes, but we only have tomorrow.
I know, but it's tomorrow. Stop it. I
No school Friday.
looked at my-
So do I. I have to be here. Get to listen to people sing and play in the band. I won't listen to the orchestras, but I'll listen to the rest of them if I can. I'm not an orchestra fan. Choirs are so fun to listen to, especially when they're really, really good.
Bro, I swear.
But this group should be. This is like Big Nine Select. This is like the select people.
Oh, the select one?
Yeah,
You're gonna listen to that one, but not the actual?
that's my plan. I won't be here for that concert.
What's the May 9th thing? Oh,
I-
is that the
I don't know. Somebody wrote it on my board. Are we done?
no.
Did you guys do that right?
You're supposed to be doing this. You done already, Wilson?
I know, Lily's new first step. She has to go select them. What is that? For the rest of it, she has to guide North Field.
Peterson.
Yeah.
Happened last night.
That'd be willing.
It's not good.
Some guy got his finger stuck in it too. In between the trailer and the truck.
Everybody agree with my first step? What do I add into the x squared plus 2x? 1. What do I add into the y squared minus 22y?
Huh?
Wait, where did we get the 1 from?
Oh,
Half of-
let's have 2.
Half of 2 is 2. 1 squared is 1.
Also be 11 if you want to put
121. Again, make sure you put them on both sides. First one factors into x plus 1 squared. Second one is y minus half of 22.
Oh, 11.
11
Squared.
squared equals, oh no, negative 73 plus 1 plus 121. 49. Center is at negative 1, 11. Radius is equal to
Oh,
7.
7.
Woo! Way to go. A little quicker this time. Nicely done. Proud of you.
I like saying what other people say first.
One more. There you go. Figure that one out. Go. Last do-it-yourselfer.
Or he gives us candy. Duh.
Candy? I like candy. It doesn't matter. Candy's good. Not much of a Reese's peanut butter cups person. No. Reese's Pieces are worse.
I don't know.
Oh, I love Reese's Pieces.
It's like too much peanut butter. I like Reese's Pieces. No.
Now I feel like I'm doing this.
They're too straight up. Straight up, they're too straight up and good.
Really? Duh. Make sure you put the center and the radius as well. Half of 18. Well, yes. I mean, when you factor, it'd be half of negative 8.
So is it
Or half of negative 8 is a negative 9.
x squared minus 18x?
So it would be x minus 9.
What?
Half of 18 is. What? That's what you need to add into both sides in order to put away. What?
Huh?
Good, then I was wrong. There it is.
So, shouldn't the negative 9 and the negative 11, wouldn't, since they're originally negative, wouldn't they be positive? Because like in the formula, it's minus. You know what?
So my centers are positive. So my centers down here are 9, 11. But these are negative here because this sign here is the same as this sign here. Okay, because don't change them when don't worry about the formula yet. You're creating the formula here
Why do we have to subtract the,
R equals
to
1.
get there.
after the equal? Why do we always have to subtract?
Because we moved this 201 to the other side of the equation by subtracting it from both sides. Okay? You can do as many as you want while you're doing your assignment. And I'll help you as you're doing that. Your assignment is inside of Schoology. Do several of them. I mean, you should do 2 or 3 of them or all 10 of them. I don't even know how many are there. Tomorrow is a kind of a review-ish type of day. We're going to do parabolas and circles tomorrow. So no real new learning tomorrow, just a bunch of reviewing.